Your Excellency, Iveta Radicova, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the honor of joining us here at the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy here in Berlin. And thank you very much for your lecture and also for the possibility of doing this interview. I would like to ask you a few questions concerning cultural diplomacy and also more specifically concerning the link of cultural diplomacy and Slovak Republic. I feel really honored that I can address these questions to you because your name was and still is very much associated with promotion of culture abroad, and also you are being a member of several academic associations. You are being a professor at several international institutions. So my first questions would be to you as a professor. How significant you think it is to have cultural diplomacy recognized as an academic field?
First of all, thank you very much for this unbelievable invitation and unbelievable occasion to meet with the people from all over the world, and especially because of 25th anniversary of the fall of the wall. It's something very important for us still, especially from Central and East European part of Europe. And it's interconnected with your question. If we would like to have better climate in our countries, not so dissatisfied and angry faces of the people, not dissatisfied citizens, so the way is mainly through the behavior and cultural value system of those who are representative for them or representation for them of their interests. So therefore, to perform like educated human being, cultural human being, to formulate questions and answers in the way that you are not my enemy. But as Voltaire said, I do not agree what you think, but I will do everything. You have to chance to say your argument, and this is the part, major part of cultural diplomacy. So more we know about it, more we have a chance to be in touch with this kind of dialogue, more good faces we can have around us.
Thank you. Following this this question, I know that you're also personally very much attached with artistic scene in Slovakia as well, let it be ballet, which you had a personal attachment with, or theater. What do you think is the importance of cultural diplomacy for Slovakia?
Karel Čapek, very famous Czech writer, has written that Europe as a continent is small. More is divided to many small regions, and these regions are divided to sub-regions. So many different multicultural islands connected into together, and the question then is, what can keep us together if we are so different and so divided? And the answer is only that from our heart we will enjoy these differences. And these differences are enjoyable if you understand a different culture as a challenge and new knowledge. Me as a scientist have some kind of view on the reality. In ballet, in theater, in movies, it's totally different point of view. But if we put these point of views together, then we can be nearer to the truth picture of our world and to be nearer to understand each other. And from this point of view, cultural democracy is the basis for understanding.
Thank you. You concluded, or you mentioned in your lecture just a few minutes ago that the European Union or Europe is still a divided unit. And do you believe in possibility of culturally harmonized Europe?
I think we are very far from the attempt to unify something. It will be in one moment very boring and more very dangerous. Unification is a feature of dictatorship, totalitarian regimes, authoritarian regimes. For democracy, the basic element are differences. So yes, we will be still divided. The only thing we need to create is tolerance. And more, to have inside us something that I would like to know more about you, about your different world, and to find good examples which we can use in our life to help us to behave in everyday life and to solve our problems. So we will be divided. The only thing is to build through cultural diplomacy better ethos of tolerance.
Thank you. Like also the tolerance is very much connected with building trust among. And how do you think that this tolerance or trust can be built through cultural diplomacy, or what tools could be used in order to build this trust among cultures of European Union or European cultures?
It's the fight with xenophobia. And sometimes I do not think we can feel like the real winner. It will be always among us. But what we can do to recover the trust, the first condition is to say the truth. If you say the truth once more and once more, I can be angry because it's not very comfortable for me. But I have to say, okay, I trust you because you are telling me the truth. So the first condition is to tell the truth. And you can tell it in different ways. You can tell it in the way that you create the pain. But you can tell it in the way that it's the challenge for you to change something in your life. And how to do it, it's your profession.
Hopefully.
You have to do it.
My next question, that's more concerning human rights and connection of human rights and cultural diplomacy. How important do you see the role of the international law in ensuring the development and implementation of human rights globally? And what role can Slovakia perform in development and strengthening the relations between East and West? And also you mentioned that you have recently returned from Ukraine, especially if you could focus a little bit more on the case of Ukrainian crisis.
Oh, it's very wide, this. I would like to pick the essence of the question. I'm not so sure I'll be precise. I try, I promise. We have experience from two totalitarian regimes, fascism and communism. And still we have part of the societies with the nostalgia, especially towards communism. In Germany, still there are groups with the nostalgia to fascism and this ideology. It's about understanding of the principle of democracy, that it's not the only the rule of majority, but mainly to guarantee the human rights of minority. And to cover human rights of minority, the best institution with competencies is usually not national, because there is mainly the rule of majority because of election process. But the control of entity, institution, which can look at you somehow from outside and not to be involved totally inside the problems of each society. Aristotle said it perfectly, that in the science or in the art or in the culture, you have to be able to look at you like you are looking out from the window, to see you. So also what is outside. That's why I'm sure that competencies we have decided to give to European Union, it was our will, through referendum, to cover and guarantee human rights is much than helpful. If I remember the years in Slovakia of so-called Mečiarism, pseudo-democracy with terrible problems, and then painful reforms to be the part of really developed democratic systems, today I will say in quotation, Gott sei Dank, we are the member state of such institution oriented on human dignity and human rights. So it is more than helpful. But if we are facing what's going on, I think it's natural that during the crisis, especially economic and financial crisis, there are stronger voices against European Union to try to find enemy and victimology that Brussels is guilty for the situation or Washington is guilty for the situation of somebody another. And therefore, we are facing a bit lower support of European Union in some countries, open discussion, Great Britain, not to be the part of European Union. In Hungary, the same. But looking on Ukraine, it means to the country where there is a real problem to guarantee human rights because there is a war, open war, you are facing totally different changes of attitudes towards more involvement to European Union. At present, 60% of inhabitants also in the southeast of Ukraine would like to be the member state of EU, and only 17% would prefer the Russian custom union. So total change of attitudes because their human rights are something as at present very far and as a dream. And they see that there is organization like EU and the procedure to be the member state which will help them to establish and guarantee human rights in Ukraine. So I think normal fluctuating support according to overall environment and social and economic situation, but I hope we do not do the mistake and try to jump somewhere because of the gas, because my sentence is we cannot exchange the gas for human rights. It's too expensive.
Thank you very much. And with this beautiful message, I would also like to thank you for being here today at the conference and also for this interview. And I wish you all the best for your stay here in Berlin.
I thank you very much for your interest and perfect interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.